Joined now by ESPN college football analyst and host of the Eddie and Rocky Show. Rocky Boiman, you were on the call this weekend for that top 10 matchup between Idaho and Montana State. What excites you most about this game?
Montana State is one of the best college football environments in the country. I mean, that they have that reputation, so I'm really excited to get out there. And I've called some games in a lot of big SEC environments, and they're fantastic. But I think the one in Montana State is unique. So, yeah, really excited. And then you got two great Big Sky teams here in Idaho. I had a nice year last year getting to the quarterfinals, and I think have a really, really good team. I really like their coach. And again, Montana State with a loaded roster. So I think it's going to be a real fun game.
Idaho has the second best run defense in the Big Sky Conference. They are going up against the top rushing offense led by Scott Trey Humphrey and Adam Jones for Montana State. What will the Vandals have to do if they want to slow down that rush attack?
Well, I think the one thing, Megan, is they also got to remember they got to stop Tommy Mellott, the quarterback. I mean, just when you're worried about Humphrey and those guys, you can forget about Mellott, who I think is one of the most electric and dynamic players in the FCS. You got an offensive line that looks like they returned 2 or 3 starters from last year. All of them are big, and they block very, very well. So I mean, one of the strengths of this entire team, when you're worried about all the weapons they have and the quarterback and this and that, you can forget about the offensive line, who is one of the best in the Big Sky, certainly, if not the entire FCS.
I spoke with Keyshawn James Newby about that matchup in the trenches between the D-line on the Vandals versus the O-line on the Bobcats that you just mentioned. He said the key to winning that battle is to get out fast. In your professional opinion, what is your key to winning that battle in the trenches?
One thing Idaho does well is they rotate a lot of guys. You know, they got a lot of guys on that defensive line. And so you got to stay fresh. A team like Montana State, they just kind of wear on you, right? They're big guys. They lean on you, and it may not look pretty in the first and second quarter, but by the fourth quarter, you're just, that D-line's tired. So I think the fact that Idaho is deep is a really, really good thing. I think that's the number one component to it. And then from there, it comes down, Megan, to guys being in every gap. So it's just one of those things where you got to make sure you have your gaps covered. Everyone's in one. Because, again, a guy like Humphrey or a guy like Mellott can find that open gap and really hit you.
Rocky, expanding to the rest of the Big Sky Conference, they had 7 teams ranked entering Week 7. That is more than half of the Big Sky. Why are they such a powerhouse in the FCS?
Yeah, I think, you look at why our teams in the SEC is so good every year. It's just it builds upon each other, right? Like, you got a good team, you got a good program. Guess what? Kids want to come there. And whether that's Georgia or Alabama or teams in the SEC or the Big Sky, where if you have a reputation like the Big Sky does for having great football and also I think great environments too. I mean, it's unique environments out there. You're getting out there in the Pacific Northwest and out that way. So I think that's an attractive thing for a kid to come. But again, I'll go back to my original point, which is when you got good programs that consistently win and do good things and put together good teams every single year, people want to be a part of it. So that just kind of builds upon itself every single year.